And she's back in your seat.
Welcome to an episode of High Resolution Life. My cat has just decided to take my seat every second. Josefina is here. We've already had an evening before we even started podcasting.
Yeah.
So there's that. I am going to go grab my...
It's been a day.
It's been a day. But we're going to talk about crocheting because crocheting is supposed to be relaxing. We're going to have fun. We've got through this day.
Somehow, some way.
Whoa! We're halfway there. Whoa! Living on a prayer. So this podcast is going to be a very different flair from what we had when we were talking about the March for Israel. I have been...
Which I went to, by the way.
We went together. So, thankfully she's been on 100% on board with this whole, hey, let's be spontaneous vibe. So I appreciate that. So we went to the March for Israel, and you didn't crochet while we were there, but we're going to talk about crochet today.
I did crochet in the car.
She did crochet in the car.
When you were driving.
I didn't pay attention to that because I was driving.
It's okay. I crocheted for probably about 2 of the 3-hour car ride. For 2 hours. This is also our guest, Stella. Everybody say hi, Stella. Hi, Stella.
So yes, Josefina has been nice enough to come on the podcast. I'm going to have her introduce herself. We've been besties. She's been one of those besties that has seen you go through all of the different versions of yourself. The good, the bad, the ugly. Oof, she's been through it all. So, but we're primarily going to talk about crochet and things like that. And just
stickers, I guess.
This was from Murphy's in 1987.
I don't even know.
It's vintage yarn. So you all might be getting a little bit more of a comedic coping with things version of Annette today. So there's that. But Josefina, go ahead and introduce yourself and everything you do. She also does photography. We did headshots today, which was interesting.
A time.
We're all in this together. So you're gonna all different facets of Annette, the podcast. Yeah. So Josefina, take it away.
The point is that we're here, right? We made it. So hi guys, I'm Josefina. I have been a photographer for about almost 17 years now. So I was here. I was taking headshots today for Annette. But the new career endeavor is crochet. And I have technically been crocheting for about 20 years, but I did not seriously get into the idea of potentially making it a business until about December of last year.
So you became a grandmother?
Yeah, basically.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Listen, I don't ever leave my house unless I have to, so she's kind of not wrong. Pandemic hit, I just decided to live at home permanently.
The introverts were all like, whoop, whoop.
Party time in here. So I decided to become a grandmother. Thank you for that.
I'm teasing.
And I started trying to figure out what I could do with crochet, because obviously there, the hats, the gloves, the scarves, the blankets, and things like that. And I've done a lot of that. That's how I learned how to crochet was, hats and scarves.
Ironically, I'll be knitting, but...
Gloves.
Is that okay? Am I allowed to knit even though you're talking about crochet?
I mean, it's yarn, it's fiber art, it's the same
It's
genre.
Okay. All right, okay. I didn't know if this was like politics. Is it bipartisan? Is it partisan to knit or crochet? Is there a divide like that?
Technically, yes. There is, to some degree.
Okay.
People can get really offended, because crochet is only one hook, whereas knitting is 2 needles. And so it's very common when people don't know what crochet is, if they see someone working with just yarn and the crochet, they're like, oh, what are you knitting? Not knitting, it's crochet, but all right.
And then what does that turn into? How do you respond to when people say that?
Well, it depends on, if they said it because they're actually genuinely curious about what I'm making, or if they're being condescending.
I love how my cat's being a stereotype right now.
100%. Stella,
Stella, you're supposed to be interesting and unique. And yet she's just...
She's 100% like, hello, how are you doing?
I can't. Well, continue.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on how it's said. Like, if people are just curious, then, maybe I won't necessarily correct them. I'll be like, oh, I'm making whatever I'm making.
Let them have that.
But if it's said really condescendingly, usually by a white man.
White. I love that. White.
White man. Like, when I was, a couple months ago, when I was getting my car fixed at the car dealership, and I was crocheting something.
Nothing good starts with car dealership.
And a white man came over to me, and he's like the once over kind of thing.
Why does he have to do the once over? Are people not allowed to crochet or knit anymore?
Apparently not. And he goes, "What are you knitting?" And I was like,
"This is knitting, folks. If you learn nothing else from this podcast, if there's two things in people's hands, this is knitting." So actually, this is rather useful that I threw this on here.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm making, whatever toy I was making at the time. And he was like, aren't you a little young to be crocheting? And I was like,
okay. Is it the same thing like a senior citizen discount?
Like, I didn't realize that my crochet hook in hand suddenly means I'm 70, but,
You should be getting that discount from Denny's now. What the hell?
I mean, does that mean that I can park in wheelchair spots too? Just because I'm 70?
If you're too young to be crocheting and knitting, apparently you can't be. I have to get a tissue. My nose is running. Sorry.
I'm fine.
Keep going.
So it's, it's things like that. If you're genuinely curious, and you say it in a nice way, like, maybe I won't correct you. Or if I do, I'll say, like, oh, I'm crocheting something. But I won't be, like, rude,
It's okay to be rude back. People bring rude energy to the chat.
Yeah, but if
Don't listen to my life advice.
If you're not going to be rude, then I'm not going to be rude. But if you're going to be rude, then I might outrude your rude.
And I might make you cry.
Yeah, so.
We've had a day, so take everything we say with a grain of salt. Where does that saying even come from?
I don't know. That's something to Google. I don't.
Grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Do you have to season it before you listen to it? Anyway, continue.
That would be a little hard for white men.
In case you're wondering, we had an encounter with a neighbor tonight. It just was not a fun time. So we're a little salty. Take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So sorry.
Anyway.
Yes. So last December, I was really trying to figure out, like, what I wanted to do with my life, because I have 2 degrees. I have a degree in psychology and one in vocal performance. And neither of which I can really use the way that I want to use them. My psychology degree will require at bare minimum a master's, and that's another $60,000 to $70,000 in education. Oof. And I don't have that right now, and I don't want that kind of debt right now either. So that was backburnered. And while I have done a few, like, one-on-one vocal coaching sessions for other people, like, I just don't totally see myself as a teacher per se. Like, that's not necessarily why I got the degree. So I just kind of haven't done anything with either of the degrees I have. Whoops. And the pandemic kind of ruined the whole traveling for photography thing for me. Because I was really just forced to sit down and not do life for like 2 solid years. And I was sitting in a writing workshop Zoom meeting thing with a friend. And I was working on a baby blanket. And as I was listening to her or one of her friends talk about whatever story, memoir thing that they were working on, it like hit me that, hey, you've done artsy things your whole life. You could probably make a career out of crochet. I'm sure people do that. And literally that night, I was like waist deep in crochet talk on TikTok, the little corner on TikTok for crochet things.
I'm not on TikTok, so.
Yeah, there's a crochet corner. Crochet talk or handmade corners, fiber talk.
Ooh. Fiber talk?
Fiber talk.
Fiber talk. Fiber.
And so then I was like, okay, well, if it's on TikTok, it's probably also on Instagram. Like, because Instagram technically came first. So then I was over there, and yep, sure enough, I was right. There is a crochet corner, a rather large one too, on Instagram.
It's a big corner.
Yeah. It's more like probably a ballroom.
Huh. How much? How many? What's a big corner then?
Well, I said it's more like a ballroom at this point.
But how many people?
Oh, I don't know. I follow, I think, 170 plus artists.
A lot of old people.
Actually, no.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm being ironic.
There are people who are younger than I am who are making more money than I am crocheting currently, but that's because they've been doing it longer than me, so that's fine. I'm not salty. It's just...
You're allowed to be salty tonight after our evening.
Well, I'm not salty about that.
It's fine. Salty about whatever you want to be salty about. Okay, you can get high blood pressure here. I'm not advocating high blood pressure. Continue.
So yeah, I decided that, I could put the crochet skills to use, and wearable items, while very pretty, do take a significant time to make. And toy making certainly can take some time, especially if you're making a more elaborate toy.
She's like an elf.
Yeah, now I'm kind of like Santa's little helper. Because I can make toys.
Oh, she is Santa's elf.
That's actually what we told my niece, Lily. We told her that I was one of Santa's helpers, that I'm an elf, and I help make the Christmas toys.
Well, you are short.
Listen.
You're not that much taller than me.
Her. But yeah, so I brought some of the toys with me because I have to tag them. There's a market tomorrow, so I have my little business price tags, and they have the logo on the front, and then a space to write the pricing on the back.
Yeah, you.
And so I made Christmas things, and while we're talking about elves, is Papa Elf.
Hi, Papa.
Hey, Papa Elf.
From Elf?
And he's got the glasses and everything.
That is amazing. I would swipe right.
So yes, there's a Christmas market tomorrow, so I've been making Christmas things. So we have an elf, Papa Elf from the movie Elf.
You guys can buy that.
There's a reindeer.
It's like I'm 4 years old and I've opened Christmas presents again.
See, I'm an elf. What did I tell you? Speaking of elves, there are
This is
two
high
more.
quality. This is like it's stuffed
It
like
is.
a turkey.
I mean, I'm not quite sure. It's stuffed like a turkey.
It doesn't have bread in it. You're good. But it's legit. Like
Little heart patch.
I like it.
And there are two other elves, to go with the Christmas vibe.
I love how they, the way they even walk. They have swag, as they're making their way over to me. There's it doesn't get any better than this. Swag.
No, it's for the entertainment purposes,
Swag.
I can't.
Swag. Oh, we are Santa's elves. Cannot. Come on.
I mean, come on. Who doesn't want cutesy Christmas things?
Only people who hate Christmas.
I
Un-American.
don't know.
Even Jews like Christmas. We wrote the best Christmas songs. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Oh, what was the other one? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. But yes, you guys could buy these tomorrow.
Yes. Or buy them off the website.
You could do that too.
Things, sell out.
They will.
Can make custom orders.
Let's set these here.
Then I have your favorite.
Bulbasaur. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Bulbasaur!
I pulled this out of the bag earlier, and she squealed.
I did.
She told me she was going to steal it, and I kind of need it for the show. But
No, she doesn't. You guys saw nothing.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I sit on a throne. I don't know if it's made of lies.
Oh no.
Bulbasaur. Boop. I love how he just like, bop. He's got a little bit of a, his head's too big problem, like my ex-husband.
And then this is probably the most entertaining thing that I've made this holiday season. It is a Grinch, but it's a Grinch pop.
What?
It's
Bring it up closer.
It's a fidget toy, essentially. So, and it's a keychain, so you can put it on your key. But you can just sit there and go like this. And I will say that for like 20 minutes after I finished making it, I literally did just that because I was that amused by my own creation.
You're like God.
Well, some do say God is a woman, so...
Technically, God has no gender, I guess. Sorry! I have a Jewish theology book I grabbed, so just let me have this. Whoa!
And then this was a highly requested item. This is my mushroom. His name is Gus. I did not make this pattern. A girl named Felicia, who goes by Grim Grinning Goats, she makes patterns like this, but I made one that was a lot more like Lisa Frank colored, like pink, purple, green, like really bright colors, and that sold. And then I was asked to make a holiday one. I really wanted to do like a Jewish colored one, but I didn't have that kind of time. So I did get at least one Christmas one out, and it does have the little Christmas lights all around it.
It's festive.
It's very festive.
I like it.
So.
Is that a tongue?
It is a tongue.
Ooh.
He's very... Not you being overly amused by this tongue. I mean, the Grinch pop is for fidgeting, but I suppose you could do this all day too.
We've had an evening. Let us have this. When she's doing headshots for me, which you all will see, you're going to see her great artwork, but with that and her great artistry and talent, let me have this. Annette got your tongue?
Away from me. You take it over there.
I like it. It's mine. Oh. I'm like a child right now. I'm not even sorry.
It's okay. This is amusement. Top tier quality.
How do I go from discussing like really important events in the worldwide Jewish community to look at me yanking on this mushroom's tongue? Ladies, be multifaceted.
That's it. You just need the multifacetedness. That's all.
I think I gave your mushroom trauma. There we go. He's chilling now. I'm glad we got past this.
Oh my gosh. And then this one is probably my favorite creation. This one.
So basically this is Adam, if she were God. She made a man. It's like, this one I'm really proud of.
I don't know if I'd be proud of white men that I would have made.
I don't think Adam was white.
Oh, it's true.
He was just in the middle. He's mid. Is that what kids say? I'm too old for this.
To be clear, when I am ragging on white men, I'm not speaking about all men. I'm literally speaking about those that go out of their way to be
Yeah, because we can't upset this poor little polar bear.
Trashy human beings.
He's white.
This is a polar bear. It's not even a human.
You're like, do not. It's very cute, so let's get back on track.
We are very salty this evening. I'm so sorry.
Guys, do not take any of it personally. There's one very specific person. We're just not even going to get into it.
Anyway.
But
This is my happiest creation. That's what I was trying to say. I've made this week. It is a polar bear Christmas tree. So literally like Christmas tree, and then the little polar bear
Aww.
sticking out top.
I like it.
And it's got presents and ornaments all over him, and these are pretty solidly glued on, but I still.
So you glued it. I was wondering if you like weaved it in or.
No, these ones are glued. The candy cane is actually put through some of the stitches.
Ooh.
So like it can pop out, but
ooh,
it's
popping.
It's there. And this made me really happy. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday. So like this market is 100% for me right now because Christmas is my favorite.
Yay!
And then I made my other favorite Christmas thing. And it's little.
If you guys wonder what I'm doing, I'm trying to unwind wine, but I think I'm just going to say bucket and just... There we go.
So this...
Sorry.
You're good. Is a little turtle.
Aww!
And he has a little Santa hat. But he has a little butt. You can take his shell off.
He's back in a booty.
And he's got a trunk.
Wait, is he meant to have something? Does he need to go have a colonoscopy?
It's just yarn fluff. Leave him alone. He's little. He can't help himself. Anyway.
Any of you that missed that, he had a little fleck of like a red. Don't. Anyway.
The pattern calls him Trunk the Turtle, and he quite literally has a trunk.
He got the junk in the trunk. Wait, let me see. That's better than my butt.
But
what you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk up in your trunk?
Talk about a flashback. Oh, God.
Good.
But anyways, then his little shell goes back on, and he goes back to being a
respectable member of society.
Exactly.
Not corrupting the youth.
Exactly. So he can, be hidden for children, but then be a little surprise for the adults. They're called bubble booty toys for a reason, okay?
He's got that J-Lo booty.
A little bit.
That's great. That's awesome.
So, yeah, I brought these because I have to tag them all for the market tomorrow. So that's technically, why I brought some of them, but also to show you and to show Annette because she's only seen photos. She hasn't seen any of these in person.
It's better in person. Maybe not like your Tinder date, but this is better in person. Tinder date? No. There should be Tinder for crochet toys. I'd swipe right on that. Did I just come up with something?
I feel like that's a very niche market.
Stella's purring. She would swipe on a toy, right?
Well, it's made of yarn, so she probably would.
There's that. She's in her glory.
She is. She's doing this little side to side dance, like she's trying to decide she's gonna get up on mom's shoulder or something.
So when did you start crocheting, and what was the whole story with that? Did someone in your family teach you? Did you learn from a friend? Did you have a class? How did that go?
I was actually in boarding school.
Ooh.
My first boarding school was in the mountains in North Carolina. And every weekend we got to go into town, like our little we lived in boarding houses. So there was 5 to 6 students per house and then 2 to 3 faculty members per house. So little families almost, just randomly chosen ones. And every weekend we would go to the local town, whether it was to go grocery shopping or just to go explore, just to get off campus. And in the town they had this yarn store. And I've always been fascinated with color. I think you can tell. You can also tell in my photo work. But that started very young. I was attracted to everything that was very super colorful. So
that's why she's friends with me.
I mean, but Lisa Frank was very much the vibe when I was a kid.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I was walking with whatever little buddy that we had, because we did the buddy system, to go walking through town.
You still do that through the rest of life.
I will. Yeah. We learn young. It's good.
Yeah, right.
But I was walking and I saw like just a window of color. And I was like, what? I want to know what that is. And I pretty much walked into a yarn store. It was very small, but the owner there was really nice, and she was teaching people how to knit and crochet. And so I sat down with my friend, and we learned how to knit first.
Ooh. Because I do it the European way. See, this is European. This is the continental knitting. This is not actually the normal way to knit. Well, normal being American, so Americans knit from left to right, so I'm doing it the other way.
Okay.
So you probably learned the other way. I always thought this way was quicker, so.
I mean, whatever makes the project, right?
Right?
So I think I did learn how to knit first, but I didn't immediately put it down. Like, that's not what happened. I don't think I was very good at it when I started out. I was like 12. And I was one of those people that, like, from a very young age wanted to do everything perfectly. So, like, if things didn't start becoming perfect pretty quick, I got pretty frustrated.
Oof.
Oof. Yeah.
Josefina smash!
Yeah. Well, maybe.
You hulked out? You hulked out on your yarn?
No, not really. I just stopped mid-project.
Oh, well,
frequently.
I've done that.
But we'd go every week, into town. And so pretty much every week I was going to this yarn store just to learn how to do things. And then I think it was like a couple months after going, she introduced like crocheting to her little class.
Oops.
And
I made a mistake. That's what happened just now.
When I realized how fast I could go with crochet, and how much better that I was than knitting, it was kind of game over for knitting for many years. So I just started crocheting. But at that time, I was crocheting like hats and scarves, like, because that's what I learned how to do. So I want to say for like probably all 3 years I was at that boarding school, anyone who ever got Christmas gifts from me most likely got something handmade.
Ooh.
Like, maybe on occasion I would go, like, get a gift card or, like, get a book for somebody or something for a friend. But if I could make it, that's what I was doing.
Hell yeah.
And then I continued on crocheting on and off. I didn't really crochet much during high school, but I did on breaks when I went home to go, like, visit my dad.
Well, it's very relaxing, too.
Yeah. Let's say goodbye to Gus. He doesn't like to stand up all that well right now, so he doesn't go back in bed.
He's going through a tough time.
Just like we are.
Yeah. Don't judge him.
Yeah, no.
Take breaks when you need them, folks. Just like Gus. Is that his name? Gus?
Gus.
Gus. Let Gus have his time to just chill. Relax.
Yeah. So I crocheted on and off through high school, but not, like, obsessively. And then in college, I picked it up again, much more religiously because it was a stress reliever. And at one point in college, I was taking 26 credits a semester, which, by the way, folks, don't do that. That is a lot. Recommended, I think, is like, what, 12, 14 for
I did 24
semester?
one semester. I didn't have a life.
Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure they only recommend, like, 12 to 14 credits per semester. And yeah, the one I was definitely doing 26. I think I only had one semester of 26, but I definitely had multiple semesters of over 18.
There's that.
So if I wasn't studying and I wasn't watching Grey's Anatomy, I was probably crocheting. And again, I don't know if I really made any toys in college, but I did do a lot of baby blankets because those I could take to lectures.
Ooh.
And I realized, I think it was my junior year of college, that I I could crochet pretty fast, but if I got into a rhythm, if I was sitting there listening to a lecture, I'd retain more because my hands were busy.
Yep. I don't know why it's that way.
It's something to do with ADHD. Like
we're pretty convinced I have it, but
being able to like calm the need to move so that you can focus. And I'm not the only person, especially since I've joined like the crochet side of Instagram, that I know who's done this. There are a couple creators that I follow who are still in college, who very much do take their work into their college lectures, and they are like straight A students.
Yep.
One of which is she goes by Purple Pear, and I highly recommend that anyone who wants to learn like how crochet can help you study, that you go take a follow on her page. This is like completely free promo for her, but it's really true though.
I believe it,
because I started doing that with the blankets. Like I would take that, and as soon as my hands got into a rhythm, I could focus 100% on that lecture, and I started getting a lot better grades when it came to like writing papers and essays and things like that.
Right.
So, and baby blankets, because they are decently sized projects, like they're not overtly huge, but they're not this big either.
Well, also like king size like blankets. Oh my god, that stuff takes forever.
Exactly.
Oh, king size bed like throws. I mean, they're amazing, but they take a while.
Yeah, and so I needed something that I could take to class and still like build on it, but not overwhelm my bag that I also couldn't put other things in there.
There's an idea. Yeah, the baby blankets would be perfect then.
Yeah, so I used to make baby blankets in lectures. And so...
Were they for people specific, or you just had them like, hey, somebody's going to get knocked up, here you go?
Pretty much that.
Mazel tov.
Pretty much that. Like,
well, it was college, everybody was having sex, so...
Yeah, well, just to be on the ready.
Be prepared.
I mean, I did think eventually, like, if none of these, like, my friends don't have children, like, anytime soon, I really need some money, I could probably sell some of these. But I was just, basically, it was just doing it to craft so that I could keep focused on whatever lecture was happening.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm too over-focused on something, I over-focus to the point that I zone out.
Yeah.
People might not understand that, but...
And, like... I was also a history minor, which some people think that I'm absolutely insane for, but I've always loved history. Like, just learning about different cultures, where we've been as civilization in the past. So I was very heavy on taking the history courses when I was in college. And there is a lot to learn very quickly, especially when it comes, to like midterms and final exams. So crochet was very beneficial for that too, because then I could absorb more of that knowledge and be able to regurgitate that into a test somehow, some way.
I don't know why it works that way.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was fun. And so I would, fast forward to December of last year. I was working on another baby blanket. I was sitting in my friend's Zoom meeting. She was writing a book. I don't know if she was the one that was talking at the time or it was one of her friends that was talking at the time. But I was working on a baby blanket and I looked down and I was like, oh, you've been creative your whole life. You've done so many things. You've been a photographer and a self-marketer for like 17 years. You could use all of those skills also in crochet because you need to take photos, you need to take the brand photos, you need to edit. You need to do all the social media postings. You already do this as a photographer. You can just transfer that over to a new business.
There's that.
So I wanted to start looking into toy making because toys obviously build up a lot faster than baby blankets do, or any blanket for that purpose.
Well, I mean, must not be a lot of social media introverts online because I'd buy a blanket.
I mean...
Continue.
Some people definitely would. I'm not saying that, like...
I'm teasing. I'm being funny.
But it's also, it's very time consuming if you want something regularly to come, products to sell. At least for me. Bless you.
Sorry, my dad didn't give me enough attention growing up. The guys outside the Thai place when my car alarm went off, and they thought for some reason I was serious.
They really did.
Continue.
Anyways. But yeah, so I wanted to look into toy making. I very happily discovered that there is a very big market and demand for toys. And this was around, I would say, Christmas time last year. I was like, oh, well, I guess I could be Santa's little helper. And I started making toys just to see if I could do it. I mean, all the stitches are pretty much the same that you'd use for blankets, scarves, and hats. It's just worked differently to, create shapes. And so I made a couple. I had my first commission in March of this year. I've had multiple commissions since, and I decided, you know what, I was going to take the leap. So I launched a business and got an LLC in August.
Woo!
And now I'm doing markets.
Woo! What was your first market? Is this the second one or the?
This is the second.
No.
The first one, this is by the same people, the handpicked creative collective Hollidaysburg.
Okay.
I did their fall market. Which was just about a week and a half before Halloween.
How was that experience?
That was really good for me. I didn't sell out completely of anything, but I did have people interested. I did have many people take my business card. I was low on the business card pile of which I bought with me, so that was nice.
Nice.
And I did sell toys. I made back the table fee and then some, so
there we go.
That was nice. And this is the second show that they're hosting. Same place, same area, but it's obviously the holiday-themed one. And I'm hoping that I can truly sell out this time, because, last-minute Christmas shoppers are always a thing. So
nice.
That's kind of what I'm bargaining on. But also just, to have the experience to be able to get more, market practice under my belt, in a sense.
And that takes time. That's the thing that people don't understand with doing creative stuff, and it takes time to do this kind of thing. It's a time investment. So
it absolutely is.
When you're paying for those kind of things, you're paying for toys, you're paying for the time as well. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Some of these little things, they work up pretty quick. I think I made this in maybe 40 minutes.
Ooh!
Because
go speed racer,
little.
Go.
But something like this is going to take me probably closer to 2 hours, especially with all the color changes.
Right. Oh, that's hard to do.
Because you want the color changes to be cohesive. So.
And you have to count it.
Yeah. So
did you use the stitch markers?
I don't think I have it with me. I have, those fidget boards with the little pop bubbles?
Yeah.
I have one that goes from 1 to 100, and I use that and I pop a bubble for every row that I go down. So it's I get to play a game while I'm also crocheting.
You're limited 3,023. I never thought of doing something like that. What?
Yeah, it's a little silicone fidget pop board. I got it off of Amazon for I don't know.
Did you do it specifically for that, or did you just buy it for your own amusement before this?
No, I did it specifically for this. I saw a creator do this somewhere on Instagram, and I was like, need that. Add to cart.
Huh? That cat is me every second of the day because of moments like this.
But yeah, so I bought it, and now I just have it next to me, and so whenever I finish a row, I pop a button. It's like a little serotonin reward.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That never occurred to me.
Yeah, and it's numbered too. It goes 1 to 100. It's a little square. It's maybe, I don't know, this big, something like that. And so every row that I finish, I just poke a little bubbles. Extra serotonin boost.
That's ridiculous. I love that.
Yeah. But each one of these, this is multiple shapes together. So the head was an individual piece that got sewn on to the body. The legs started off as individual pieces and then were sewn together to make the body. Each of those leaves are separate pieces, and then obviously the little strawberry is a separate piece. So sometimes things get sewn on. These arms. Are you okay? And those are things we cannot read on air.
No, keep going.
Jesus Christ, this night. I can't. So, some things like this little elf, for example, this works up all in one place except for the arms. And the arms you can just crochet right in rather than sew in.
Oh, that's so much easier.
So that you make the arms first, and then you start at the feet. And then you combine it all, work your way up, crochet the arms in, and then crochet the head. The hat is a separate thing that got sewn on afterwards. But
in some ways that's easier, in some ways it's not.
Yeah.
I'm knitting. I got like 4 rows in.
Look at her go.
It just makes me happy.
See, it's relaxing.
I'm taking what I can after this afternoon. She also did headshots for me, which I'm excited to share with you all once she gets done editing those. So I think I did put a little preview on my Instagram story if you're following me. If you're not, you're lost. But get on that. I'm on Instagram as HIRES_pod. Oh! Let me try that again. HIRESLIFE, HighRes Life _podcast. That's my Instagram handle now. So sorry, I added that in there. So let's continue talking about your crochet. Now that I thought about that, but I'll link it in on the things that I put on, when I publish this. More than likely I want to do that tonight, so.
All right.
Might as well. What else am I going to do? Sit around and plot revenge against my neighbor? Well, deserved it. Earned it. But continue.
Oh, God. Yeah, so, toys work up pretty quick. Some things that are a little bit more elaborate, like the polar bear Christmas tree, for example. This would take a lot longer. I think this was almost a 5-hour project total. And then Gus here was a good 8.5 hours of crochet.
Gus took a whole day.
Gus did.
Did God even take that long to make Adam?
Well, we see how the evolution of man went, so that you can answer that.
Don't ask. Well, I am the resident scholar, but don't ask me to answer that.
But you are the resident scholar.
I am. The time was.
Don't you want to answer the question?
No. Nope. Don't hold me accountable for this.
Oh, good.
Okay, sorry, Gus.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, so what are you doing now? You're writing numbers on things, which means
I'm working on the price tag things just well, because this is all getting priced for tomorrow
at the market.
Yeah, tomorrow's market.
So what are some of your goals, or what are some things that you're hoping to see in your business a year from now?
A year from now, I'd like this to be a full-time thing, and I'd like to be making enough income to hire 1, if not 2 other employees.
Mm-hmm. And what would these employees do?
I would have somebody take over all the video editing for me, because I love photo editing. I've been doing it for 17 years. I have no problem doing the photo editing. Video editing to me, even with the apps that supposedly make it really easy, is the most tedious thing on the planet for me to do. And unfortunately, we live in a society that has really monetized video content, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon. And so I've gotten on board with it as much as I can, but it is literally the bane of my existence to edit videos like that. Yep. So if I could hire somebody to take that away from me, you best believe I'm going to be doing that. And then I would like somebody probably for more administrative stuff. I like having control over my website, but I don't want to do every single little thing.
Nope. So
if I could have somebody do emails, negotiate like commission prices with somebody so that I don't have to argue about money, because I've been doing that for 17 years, that'd be great to make someone else go do that.
Right. Yeah, that's really stressful. It's stress you don't need.
Yeah, and just like little updates to the website. Like if I send them a whole batch of photos, have those photos posted so that I don't have to do that. Not that it's the most tedious thing in the world, but it's still...
There's like a weird love relationship I have going on with Gus.
I see this. It's okay. He is cuddly though. That's kind of...
Guys, you need to buy Gus.
His purpose.
He's got my energy all like...
Nestled into it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. go.
You're like, Annette, stop molesting my toy.
I did not say that.
but stop.
He's just gonna have some extra Christmas joy, okay?
He's gonna have extra Hanukkah joy. Christmas joy too.
Yeah, both.
He's extra holiday joy.
There you go. Extra holiday joy.
Extra Kwanzaa joy.
Kwanzaa, yeah.
Just...
My dad went to school with the person who made Kwanzaa a national holiday in the U.S.
Douglas?
Yeah.
Huh. That's
Fun
really
fact.
cool.
Yeah. My dad was born in California and lived in Los Angeles or surrounding their areas for many years before he came to the East Coast.
Huh.
And I don't remember if he said it was college or graduate school, but he was in a class for a semester with the person who made Kwanzaa a national holiday.
Which class was it?
I don't remember. My dad does have a degree in pure math and one in political science.
Pure math?
Yeah.
Which is like philosophically, like that kind of stuff?
It is way beyond my comprehension to even begin to try to explain. Because, to put it the simplest, my dad wrote the only book there is on Bayesian theory and logic analysis.
Only?
Yes, he's the only one to tackle that, and it's in the Library of Congress for that reason.
Your dad is pretty smart.
Yeah. And I don't know what Bayesian analysis is, even after all these years, and he's tried to explain it to me a few times. It just does not click in my head because I am not a math...
It's called Bayesian analysis?
Bayesian analysis.
I gotta Google this.
I am not a math person at all whatsoever. I was blessed in the creativity department, but if you ask me anything about science and math, over my head, and I know nothing. So my dad he's sat down and tried to explain this to me a good chunk of times over my life, and I still can't tell you.
That's okay. We don't have to be great at everything.
No, we don't, which is good, because I suck at math.
We can't all be good at everything. That's fine.
That's my dad's genre. He can keep that one.
I don't want to be good at everything. That's too much pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's very, very mathematically inclined.
Yeah, he is.
I am not.
Your dad's like the Rain Man.
He is something.
He's counting the books. This is why sometimes there's a shadow of Douglas in me. Where sometimes you're like, am I talking to Douglas? Some just little faint wisps.
Every now and again, she and our mutual friend Chris will say something, and I'll really look at my phone, like pause and be like, am I speaking
Douglas?
to Douglas or my friend? Like,
you pick Douglas friends.
but it's very true. He is a very one-of-a-kind human. He also, unfortunately, has dementia now.
That's very difficult.
And so I would really like to be able to show him before he leaves this world that I'm going to be okay and that I can make this like a full-time kind of crafting thing. And right now, this also allows me to travel to the facility to visit him. I can work while I'm visiting him, and I can work at home.
Yep.
Because yarn can kind of travel with you anywhere,
Exactly.
as can stuffing. So
it went with us whenever we were going to the March for Israel rally.
Yeah, I took it with me in the car.
I was
She
driving,
drove, and I did like 2 hours of work. I was working on a blanket though.
And you didn't get sick.
No.
I wasn't sure. Because I usually get sick when I'm...
I did, I think, because I started to get hungry is when I started putting stuff down, because hunger contributed to a little bit of car sickness.
Yep.
But I got about 2 hours of crochet work in. Granted, I was working on a blanket and not a toy, but nevertheless, still crochet, and you can...
It's pretty. I can't wait to see how the blanket turns out. Did you work on it since then? Or
Yes, I have
Nice.
added a couple rows. It's been being worked on for like 2.5 years. So it's slowly,
but I mean,
it's slowly growing. It is a queen size blanket though, so it is pretty freaking massive when you unravel it, like out and it's on. I would say it's probably about 3/4 done, being a queen size blanket.
There you go.
So still got quite a few rows to add, but I'm quite a few rows closer than I was.
There you go. Hey, well, with those kind of blankets, they take a while.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had this podcast so far, though, because I just wanted an excuse to sit and talk and get back into knitting, and it would make sense, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's about fiber art, and knitting is still a
Fiber
art.
art.
So
There
it fits right in.
is a grandma living inside both of us.
There really is.
Because both of us are just like, it snowed all day. Oh, can't go anywhere. We're both like, boo-hoo.
Oh no, it's raining and cold and miserable outside. Whatever will we do? Oh no.
I love that. I love rainy weather. There's too much pressure to be happy when it's sunny and beautiful outside. Who feels like knitting or crocheting when it's beautiful and sunny outside? I know you did, but...
But I can also stay at home when it's sunny and just go sit on my deck instead.
Ooh. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah.
See, I have friends that give me permission to do things that are good for my mental health.
Yeah, as long as it's not too hot to the point I can't breathe. I can go just move the yarn and the crochet hook and sit on the back porch and sit in the sun and crochet instead.
So have you thought, do you design, I think you did design a couple of your own patterns, right, so far?
I have designed one, yes. I made, it's called a Quaggan. It is a video game character. And as far as I know...
What's that video game? Which video game is it?
Guild Wars 2.
It's outside of my nerd wheelhouses, but I just...
It's okay.
Guild Wars, okay.
Yes,
all right.
Guild Wars 2. There's a little creature in it called a Quaggan. They are... Some of them are kind of penguin colored, but they don't look anything
What
like
do they
a
do?
penguin.
Describe. What's a similar... How would humans connect?
They do waddle like penguins, though. I'll give them that.
Okay.
But I made one for a Twitch streamers giveaway.
Ooh.
Ian was...
So you had to come up with it on your own and...
Yeah, I mean, Ian has been streaming for many years. She was doing a charity giveaway stream, and she offered that whoever donated the most amount of money could get a commissionable crochet pattern from me. That was kind of my way to contribute.
Ooh.
The person ended up contributing like over $500 for the charity stream. So I asked them if they wanted me to try to make their character, make a sky scale, which is their version of a dragon, or, something else of an in-game character that I could try to make. And they said they would really like a Quaggan, because it's their favorite character. And I was like, I don't know how to make a Quaggan, but I'm going to go find out.
I'm going to go find out.
So I did. I designed Quaggan 1.0. Is sitting on my desk. It's pretty cute. It just needed some refinement.
So when did you do that?
That one I did, what month is this now? December? This was September,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So like the end of August, I think I made the first one just to see if I could even do it.
Ooh.
And I could, and it's cute, but there were definitely some like things that needed to be refined.
It was like the beta test version.
It was, which is why it's sitting on my desk and wasn't given to somebody. But then I made version 2.0, and I feel like that was very more Quaggan-esque like. And when she shares this podcast, I will reshare that photo of the Quaggan so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because I don't think the photo is going to show up on camera right now.
No.
But I'll post it so you can see. But I made it, and I made the 2.0 version, and look at that.
This is how long crocheting takes, but I'm just doing a regular
knitting.
Pearl stitch.
Knitting.
Yep.
You said crochet.
I'm knitting. I'm knitting, and
I've been
this
waiting
is...
to see if she'd catch that.
Huh?
Huh?
I am so smart yet so dumb at the same time.
It's fine.
I balance out my smartness with how stupid I am. How dumb. I'm kidding. I like myself.
Oh my God.
I know I'm smart, but there's sometimes I'm like,
Huh? What?
But yeah, this is how long. Well, I mean, I probably could have been quicker, but why? This is meant to be therapeutic.
Yeah, it's the relaxing portion for it.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's cool. What is it like to design your own. Is it? I would imagine it's like sculpting, right?
A little bit, yeah. It's slightly more annoying because you do have to keep track of all the stitches either in your loop or, in your section. So, like, one of these, it starts with what's called a magic circle, which you can kind of see on the foot. It's like
I've done that before. Yeah,
circle shaped.
Yep.
So it starts like there, but then every row out,
then you have to count the
doubles
two and then the one,
or triples or something like that. So when you're designing your own, especially if you're making shapes that start, circularly, you have to write down, okay, I started with a magic circle. There was 6 stitches in that circle. Now I need to double it, triple it, quadruple it, etc.
Wait, where did you get these glasses from?
Those glasses?
You don't have to tell me exactly, but did they... Is it like a doll glasses?
Yeah.
Or like... That's adorable!
They're doll glasses.
I wondered about that. It makes me want to watch Elf now.
Yeah, those are doll glasses. I saw them at a craft store. And I was like, I know exactly what I'm doing with those.
Yeah.
Let me just add to cart.
Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just driving me crazy. I was wondering.
You're okay. It's doll glasses.
Okay, cool. I was just curious. Continue.
So yeah, it is kind of like sculpting, except you're also like writing everything down.
Ooh.
And assuming you get the pattern that you really like, then you could also ask for testers, which is pretty common for crocheters that make their own patterns. You then ask the community if there's anyone that would like to test for you, and you select like maybe 3, maybe 5 people from whoever, says they are willing to do it. And you send them the pattern for free with the intent behind that they have to give you feedback on the actual pattern itself. They are not allowed to release it before you do. They're allowed to share their work as they go if they want to. Normally, some creators may not say yes to that either, but most do. Like, you can share your progress, but you can't share like a screenshot of like how the actual notes, the instructions.
So do you let them post a picture of how it turned out, or?
Yeah, like you could post a photo, or like if you're working on, I don't know, you're like halfway up an elf, so you're like at the pants level. You could post a picture of just working on the pants and be like, I'm working on something new.
That's far more than some people I know.
That's not what I meant, but you're right. Oh, good. I'm done. Just need to retire. It's been a night. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's been a night.
Oh, man. Anyways. But yeah, I have a couple plans, actually, to do some more pattern designing. Because there are more characters from that video game that I would like to...
You should do that, yeah.
And as far as I know, from at least all of my searches on Etsy, there are not a lot of people who are making that game's video characters.
I am familiar with the name Guild Wars, but obviously I haven't played it. Yeah, no.
Like, if you go to Etsy and you type in, like, Mario crochet patterns, you're going to find a good chunk of people who's, made Mario.
Yeah. Luigi. Peach.
Yeah.
Princess Peach.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Princess Peach has been made. But definitely you're going to find Mario patterns for sure. And then, what's the little green dinosaur's name?
Yoshi.
There's a lot. I've seen a lot of Yoshi patterns.
Fun fact, Yoshi means game in Mandarin.
Oh.
Yep. And now Yoshi is computer game.
There we go.
In Chinese. Continue.
Yeah.
Mandarin.
Okay. Yeah, so,
I should go on Jeopardy.
You should. They're just random facts that come out.
I'm useful for random facts.
This has been all like 14 years of our friendship, don't worry.
Did you know? And she's like, you have not been on Jeopardy yet, why?
Pretty much. It's really random places too. Like, this is not so random, the podcast, but like, we were driving, I think, down to DC, and you said something, and I just stopped crocheting.
Yeah,
and I was like,
what?
What? Huh?
Oh. That cat meme. If you don't know that cat meme, you're missing out.
We're going to have to post that too when this podcast comes out.
Yeah,
There's
right.
so many things, so many references you guys need to get. Anyways. But yeah, like all 14 years of our friendship has just been random facts. Just,
But
coming out. And it's from both of us, but for like way different things.
Right? Did you know? We always stop and go, did you know? Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know? And we're both like, huh?
Every time. But yeah, so Yoshi patterns, there's a lot of those on Etsy. But if you Google like Guild War II crochet patterns, I think there's one person in Russia who's created like one thing.
What's Russia?
But I don't think that there are very many others. And I would like to change that because I want to cuddle some Guild Wars 2 characters that you can't do because it's all a video game. You can't cuddle it in real life.
Gotta make a real one.
But if you make one, like a little Bulbasaur, then you can cuddle it. So I'm gonna figure out how to do that.
Guild Wars. Okay. Yeah, I've never played that.
Yeah. Fun game.
Does look fun.
Met a lot of cool people through that game. One of my best friends plays that game, actually. Fun fact.
Ooh.
So, yeah. Definitely want to make, there are a couple characters. For complicated, just to see if I could do it purposes, I would like to see if I could design the Sky Scale, and that's their really big dragon flying mount.
I like dragons.
And I have, like, dragon patterns, like, just from other places, but none of them look even remotely like a Sky Scale, so, like, I really do think that would be a challenge. And I like to test to see if I can do complicated things just for the heck of it. So the Sky Scale is on my list of something to make. We will see if I get there at some point in 2024.
Woo! Well, we'll have to check back in on more crochet things in the future. Well, we've gone on over an hour.
We have.
Uh-huh.
Where does time go?
Time flies when you're not seeing things that you shouldn't.
When you're recovering from trauma.
If you don't know, just be glad. If you know, and I shared this story with you, yeah. If you want to know, then I'll come up with like a subscriber, what was the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm not. But
Or you could DM either one
of us.
It's just not something we can discuss on air.
I'm not discussing it on air. I'm not giving...
That's a DM thing. But the point is that trauma happened and we're recovering, and apparently that just comes in the form of yarn.
This is very relaxing. So this is how far I got.
Yeah.
With the knitting. I'm a fan of knitting just because I like the stitching more, but I didn't have as much to contribute about knitting because I just kind of re-entered myself back into it with this conversation.
You do crochet, though.
I do crochet as well.
Did you make this?
Oh!
Yeah, let's show them this.
I crocheted this doily.
This is the other thing that you can
Makes
do.
a good hat.
But this is another type of crochet that is done, is the doily crochet. That is really tiny yarn and a very tiny crochet hook. But you can make doilies, and a lot of the quote-unquote lace doilies that you see are actually handmade. Very rarely you'll find like factory-made ones. I mean, you will find them, but they're not anywhere remotely as
Don't
cool
I look variable?
as the one that she's wearing on her head.
I'm kidding. Continue. I just wanted to have red hair like you.
There you go. Isn't that the same color? Almost. It's almost the same. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's another kind of crochet. And she does that sometimes.
I do that. I've made blankets. I've made toys too. I don't really have much stuff on it and make as much time to do it. So maybe this is the next step in my life journey and my healing journey. But I did make this. Mm-hmm. And people called me a grandma for doing it. But you know what?
And I've seen her on and off throughout college make doilies. Like, she's brought some of them some places.
Yeah, didn't I?
Did you bring it to Vienna? Is that where I saw you doing it?
Is that where I was doing that? I think so.
I don't know. We went to Vienna together way back when.
I think I was crocheting.
I think we were there for choir. We sung in St. Stephen's Cathedral. But I'm pretty sure during one of our breaks or something, she like pulls out this big ball of some of the tiniest yarn I've ever seen and this itty bitty crochet hook, and she just starts going, and it took me like a good 20 minutes to realize that what she was making was a doily. It was blue.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Did I do that in Vienna? I did that another time as well. Where was that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what shade of blue. I just remember that it was blue. Now she's going to go run to see if she can find it.
Oh, yeah. It was this one. I don't think I made this in Vienna, though, but I did make this one.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty.
I forget which pattern this was. It was a dragonette is what it was called, so.
Look at that, guys. See, this is a style of crochet I don't know if I could do, because this is a teeny tiny hook, folks. That is teeny tiny. Those are some teeny little stitches. But they do come out very, very pretty.
See, bigger isn't always better.
That only applies normally to yarn. And crochet hooks.
But,
oh god, I need a vacation. Bless you.
Ooh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm a dad sneezer. So I made that. What else did I make?
I don't know. I recall you crocheting something. I just don't know if it was a doily or...
I don't know what it was. I agree with you, though. I think I was crocheting something, but I don't know what. Here, catch.
Oh. She made this one too, guys. Look. Look how pretty this is. Like, yeah, the teeny tiny stitches. You can see also the difference too, like doily stitch versus stuffed animal stitch. Like, one of these things is not quite the same size.
But both of them are just difficult in different ways. But
yeah.
The counting with the crochet doilies, though, this is like, this one was like a pumpkin type dealio, I think is what it was called.
I don't know.
So.
It's really pretty. But yeah, so crochet covers quite a few fiber artsy things, because there's the wearable art, there's the decorative art, there's the toy making art. Like, there are definitely different facets of the same grouping.
I don't think there was anything else I had yet.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, obviously we're going to have a follow-up.
Yeah. Maybe when I've made some extra characters.
You should. We should keep working on the Guild Wars one.
Definitely a plan to do so, because there are definitely some things that I want to see. I did make Ian's Asura for her birthday.
No, what's an Asura? Is that
An Asura is a character, like it's a playable character, I should say.
Ooh.
And I think the best way to describe it is that it's like a combination of a little alien elf.
Ooh.
They are the smallest playable characters in Guild Wars. They are the smallest race, I guess, for lack of a better term.
That's fine. Whatever. It's in a game.
And they have really, really long, like, elf ears.
Ooh.
But they're
Maybe
very...
I should hear you.
They're very alien-esque looking. So I would say it's like alien-elf combo.
Ooh. Just like Spock?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen them do that. I can do it with this hand. I can't do it with the right hand. Anyways, now the point is that I made the Asura for Ian's birthday, because she loves Asura. That's all she ever plays in game.
Is it sort of like a what's that thing called with where you have the 16-sided die? Help me out.
D&D?
Yeah, does it follow the same D&D structure, or is it different?
No, it's different. It doesn't have dice, which is probably good, because I can never keep track of things like that.
But I mean, does it follow sort of the same structure of that?
No, there's a storyline. For the past decade, they've been talking about the Elder Dragons. That season literally just ended, I think, started this year. The new expansion they released this year does not deal with Elder Dragons. So,
so is that like a thing that you download, or a subscription thing that you're dealing with?
It's a free-to-play game. If you want all the expansions, you do technically have to buy them. But it is a one-time purchase. So once you purchase it, you have the entirety of the game. And there's a very big storyline. Like, your character can go through a story.
Where did you get these
missions? Those are from Michael's.
Oh,
They're
that's
part
adorable.
of the You know when you make those like bowls with candles and you fill the bowl with things? There are things for that.
Okay, sorry, I just got distracted.
It's okay.
Continue.
But I took some of those and made them Christmas ornaments for the thing there.
That's perfect. Continue.
But yeah, there's story content, there's player versus player content, there's group versus group content. I don't know. It's a very, very well done MMO, and I think that's why a lot of people keep coming back to it even after they take extensive breaks from it. Because you go to play another MMO and it doesn't have the same quality of life features that Guild Wars does, and you end up coming right back to Guild Wars. Like, you may go play the new game for a little bit, and maybe you put in the time, a couple months away from Guild Wars into the new MMO, and then you get to, like, I don't know, some kind of content update, and you're like, this is not like Guild Wars. And the next thing you know, you're back in Guild Wars again. Because the quality of update and the quality, like, just...
Not it.
It's not the same. Guild Wars really ruins you for other MMO games.
Oh, no.
Like, I mean, and I played Monster Hunter, too, and, like, it's a good game. It's just not Guild Wars.
Aw, she's been our best podcast guest.
Yeah.
I love how she's being such a stereotypical cat.
She is so, like, Yarn, what are you doing, Mom?
What next? Are you going to be into milk?
Pretty much.
All right, so the account that people should follow for your Instagram?
Sweetie Nuts.
Sweetie Nuts. SWEETIE.
KNOTS. I will
Get up on that.
come around so you guys can see the logo. Here we go.
Yep.
And
you can bring it up even further.
the elephant logo is my logo across all sites. So if you see the elephant first, most likely you have found me. I am there on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, what used to be Twitter that I'm still calling Twitter because I refuse to call it the other name.
I don't even use it anymore, so...
I have not yet made a Twitch, but I have had people ask if I plan on streaming.
Ooh, while you're crocheting?
While I'm crocheting.
Yeah, you should. That'd be therapeutic.
So if there is a demand for that, maybe I'll make a Twitch channel.
There you go.
But definitely, I am probably the most active on Instagram, but I am technically active on all the main big social media accounts. And I am at Sweetie Knots across all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for dealing with everything today. So we have one of these elves. This one is, which elf?
That one's just one of the little Santa's helpers, as is this
Santa's
one. This
helpers?
one's the only one that's really especially. It's just because I saw the doll's glasses and knew I could not pass up on this opportunity. I mean, look at those little frames. Like, tell me you would see those in a store and be like, okay, that needs to go on an elf, because...
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I was wondering what, I didn't want you to give away your secrets, but then we have one of these little fidget poppers.
Yeah. I literally did that for 20 minutes after I made the thing.
I can't stop. And you sent me that video.
I did.
And this is super cute. I love the curls with the tree.
Yeah.
I love that. That's super creative.
Thanks.
And I love Balba. This is so cute.
That was released by a girl she goes by Crocheted by L on Instagram. And she makes a ton of really cute things like this. That's her pattern. I did not make her pattern, just to be clear. I just made it from her pattern.
And this one? Oh, that's so cute. Very high quality stuffed. They're solid, so yeah. Thank you again. And I'll put all of the handles in there for people to find you, and you guys will see her great photography work, because we did get a couple really great pictures done.
Yes, and I will be editing them tonight for you.
Can't wait. And I'll be getting this up on YouTube and Spotify. So thank you so much, guys, and thank you, Josefina.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, Stella, for being a wonderful guest audience member.
Thank you, Stella.
So everyone say bye, Stella.
Bye, Stella.
And see you later, Josefina. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Till next time, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Oof.